Hello. Okay, so wait, hold on. Let me get my my little AirPod in so you can actually hear me. I always like to start these off a little crazy. Okay, so to do this in the best way possible, I'm basically going to be going over 5 mistakes that will hurt your ability. Okay, now my thing's connected. Okay, 5 mistakes that will hurt your ability to properly plan out your summer. And right now is around the time that you want to start planning summer. The reason for that is because, again, like we talk about all the time, you need that marketing runway. So these are kind of the 5 mistakes that I've identified after talking to my marketing clients and just in my own business about what really holds people back. So the first thing is not setting an income or a session goal for the summer. It's kind of hard to work backwards if you're not sure where you're starting from. And in the chat yesterday, I kind of asked about goals, and quite a few people answered, and then I got a lot of DMs because people didn't want to answer in the group, which I totally understand. So it seemed like it was separated into, I want to shoot this many sessions or I want to make this much income. Since my sessions are priced at a way that they are profitable for me and they don't cause any resentment, I usually do set a number of sessions. So mine is 25 full sessions this summer. That's my overall goal. And then what I can do is break that down and start marketing it. So when you don't have a goal and summer is just rushing at you and you think like, okay, I'll just handle it as it comes, it's harder for you to stick to a plan because you're just going with the flow. And especially in this economy and attention span, going with the flow marketing is a little bit tricky. The second mistake that won't set you up for success is not pre-preparing your images. So a lot of times with marketing, what it is figuring out what's stopping you from actually marketing. And with my one-on-one students this past winter, a huge issue was that when they went to start even the first task of marketing, they were sidelined because they didn't have a collection of images or a collection of sessions or anything in any sort of easy to grab method where they could say, okay, these are the images that I want to market. And that may seem intuitive, but the amount of photographers who don't set themselves up in that way is, I'd say, the majority. So if you look at your summer, you probably already have, because summer hasn't happened. So the only thing you can market with are sessions that you already have in your portfolio. So you can go ahead and identify all of those sessions, pull them all into a folder, and you can build your marketing out from those images, which can be a lot easier than just every single time you want to market, you're grabbing images randomly. So if that's the first thing you do to set yourself up to prepare, go back through, and I'll go to galleries. My editing really hasn't changed too much and my process hasn't changed. So I will go back like 4 years to find summer images that I like if I feel like I don't have what I want from last year, for example. So don't be worried about these 2 things. 1, showing images that you've already shown. I just did a post on my availability and like 11 people have seen it. So I could post that a ton more times and hopefully get more people seeing it. This fear of being annoying or showing something that we've already shown is definitely an Instagram mentality from maybe like 2018. That's no longer an issue. So the first thing you need to do is set the goal. The second thing you need to do is prepare yourself by deciding now what images you're going to showcase. That will also start building out the marketing stories in your head. Because you know that when you went to this session or you worked with this family or this happened, there's all these little stories that'll pop back into your head. Or if you want to talk about styling or location or start time or whatever it is about that session that really resonated with your artistic process, you can identify that in those images and then work backwards to create the content that way, as opposed to just grabbing an image and saying, here's my availability or here's what's available and throwing it out there. This is how you can start to strategically market, which is what you want. Okay, the third mistake that you could make is only staying on Instagram. And I know that this is really hard because we are all pretty much Instagram marketers at heart. It's where a lot of us started our business and where we found success. And so I understand that feeling of wanting to stay here, but you need to figure out a way to take the marketing that you do on Instagram and spread it around. So the way I do it, which you guys have heard a lot about, is my little marketing flow of the carousel posts that you see on here become blog posts, and those are then pinned. And then I have some other little automations set up in the back end, like I turn my reels into YouTube videos or YouTube shorts. So then I'm taking this one bit of marketing that I spent time on and posting it other places, which is really, really helpful for my long-term SEO, because we know that Instagram is very much like a short-term. You don't really see Instagram posts from even 2024. I mean, every once in a while I'll see one that went really viral and I'll look at the date and it'll be like fall 2024 for like a family photographer. But for the most part, the longevity lasts on your blog and on Pinterest. So if you can set up systems to get your work from here to somewhere else, that is definitely something that you should try to do. Okay, the fourth mistake for planning summer would be trying something once and having it flop and giving up. There have been many times in my business where I've done a live like this and no one has watched it, and I just keep talking. There have been times where I've posted sessions that I'm really excited about and no one books them, and I just keep going. Failing is part of it, and you're not always going to get the desired result, but the damage that you do to yourself by showing up one time or trying a new form of marketing one time and then not trying again is so detrimental. You have to create the plan, and then you have to stick to the plan, because if you create the plan and then you try one thing on the plan and no one sees, or you get one person who likes your post and then you say, okay, well, I'll just give up, then first of all, nobody's gonna come rescue your business. Nobody's gonna come do the marketing for you. It has to be you who does it. Okay, and then this has become the fifth mistake. This has become the absolute biggest issue for photographers that I've mentored with marketing, and that is not setting proper boundaries in order to create time and capacity to market. So when I say, like, if I'm working with someone, we're coming up with a one-on-one marketing plan, and we come up with something that really resonates with them, it showcases what they want, it's the amount of times they need to show up to actually hit their income goal, and then we check back in a week later and nothing's happened, the number one reason is because they did not create any time within their work week to actually do that work. And it's kind of hard to say, but like a ton of time, especially in growth mode, needs to be dedicated every single week to marketing. Like when you're in the beginning stages, 70% of your time should be marketing your business. But instead, what it is takes up maybe 10% of people's time, and then 60% of their, and I'm not calling anyone out, I'm saying this happens to me too. 60% of time is spent scrolling, comparing, and feeling gross. And then the other percent of time is spent editing and doing those sort of admin tasks. So we need to switch it over to really get systems in place and boundaries within your family, or if it's just you, how you're utilizing your time so that you can actually get this stuff done. So in the membership, so I'm going to talk about the membership because I'm so excited about it. We will be working on all of this stuff, and there will be a summer goal setting workshop that's happening May 1st. The membership's $35 a month, so join and come to that. And if you like it, you can stay. I want it to just be the absolute most helpful place for marketing, so I'm really excited about it. So I'm just going to go over really quick the 5 mistakes that will damage your ability to properly market your summer. One is not setting an income or a session goal, and you can set it big. Like if you have a goal of making $30,000 this summer, set it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You don't hit it, but you learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about marketing. You learn a lot about if you even like doing that many sessions. And then when you roll around to summer 2026, you can look back at this goal that you've actually written down and said that was sustainable, it was not sustainable. So often none of these things, none of these realities are documented. So future us can't go back and say, ooh, what did I learn from that? It's like summer hit us. We went through it, we tried to get to all the sports practices and drive the children around and make time for sessions. Then fall comes and it's just craziness, and then it's the quiet of the winter and we're wondering what the hell just happened. So if you can group your seasons out and strategically set goals for each one, that will not only help you, but it'll help future you decide if that goal was even sustainable. not preparing the images. So if you want to do if you decide you want to join and come to the goal setting workshop on the 1st, the best thing that you can do is prepare the images now. So go through old galleries that you've delivered, go through your Instagram, see what sessions you've posted. That's a major way that I figure out what my favorite sessions were for even 3 to 4 years ago. I'll just scroll all the way back to 2022 and see what I was doing that summer, and that will really reawaken what sessions I want to go back to and visit and pull into my marketing folder. Okay, and then you need to not stay on just Instagram. Especially not just in your stories. I see a lot of you hiding in your stories and doing 1 post a month. If you're in your stories, Instagram has totally said to everyone, they're like, we are not pushing stories to anyone who doesn't follow you. And I've noticed even in my stories, it's really the same cohort of people. So it just means that you're showing up to those people's door every morning, knocking on the door and being like, did you see I'm booking sessions? So we need to find a way to bring new people in. Okay, trying something once. I promise you will fail. Like, I guarantee, this is what I can guarantee to you, you will have feelings of failure. That is normal. That means that you are being brave and you are trying stuff, which is amazing. Like, so many people are not doing anything scary ever. Which is fine. They're just floating along and living life. If you are a creative business owner, you are doing scary stuff every day, which is amazingly brave. And part of what I want the membership to do is to be that support system for you so that you can be like, oh, I had this failed. Let me post it and get some ideas about what I could do better to fix it. Or here's my idea, here's my marketing idea. What do you guys think? Like, I want it to be this communal group of people that are supporting each other. Okay, boundaries. So I talked about this before, but when I was taking my business from part-time to full-time, that was an entire family conversation that had to happen because there was way too many. First of all, as mothers, we often carry this massive emotional load, right? I was like carrying the emotions of everyone, which I still kind of do in a way, especially as a mother of daughters. But then there was all these little things that were just on my shoulders and in my head, and I didn't have enough space to give myself the creative freedom to even think about marketing because I had too many tasks. And even when I had that space to get into that flow, somebody would come and interrupt me. And it's not my kid's fault, it's just normal life. Somebody would come and say, hey, I want a snack. Hey, I want to do this. Hey, can you fix my iPad, it's broken, whatever. So I had to literally tell everyone, even though my kids were quite young at the time, they would have been like 4 and 5. I was like, this is what I'm trying to do. I need time and space to do this work. And we set family boundaries about what that looked like. And so if you were in growth mode with your family photography business, 1, you're allowed to ask for boundaries. 2, you can do it in like a very open way. It doesn't have to be like sneaking time here and there. You can say, this is the time I need, how can I get it? Another thing I did when my girls were really little is I had a mother's helper who was at 12, so they were like 4 and 5. She was 12, her mom dropped her off, and she just played with them. And she could get them snacks, and she can answer little questions. She could fix the iPad. All those little things where someone comes in from the side when you're in the flow of marketing and they disrupt you and pull you out of flow, that is what I was trying to avoid. And it's not like I need hours and hours and hours, but just 1 solid hour of time would allow you to gather up a bunch of summer images, to start writing out a marketing plan, to create a Canva template, or use the one that is in my freebie to just plan out. You could plan out, 3 weeks of content at a time. And then as you roll forward, you can figure out how to take that content and put it other places. But if you don't set the boundaries, you'll never get the work done. So I hope this gave you something to think about. As we're on April 24th right now, summer is literally around the corner. So you do need to be thinking about it. Just to give perspective, I open my fall dates on July 1st. So that's about the runway that I think about the season, and then I bounce back a month and a half or 2 months, and that's when I'm starting the marketing for that next season. So as you're thinking about it, I hope these things really help you. I hope you set big goals, even if you don't hit them. And if you want to join the membership, I would love to have you. I'm sending out, let me show you these little cute things. I have one in here. These little frames is what everybody gets, and you get to put your seasonal goal in there and put it on your fridge. And that can also help you set boundaries with your family. So I hope you guys have a good week, and I will talk to you soon.